The deputy foreign ministers of Iran, France, Germany and the UK are in Geneva in Switzerland to discuss Iran's disputed nuclear program. It's the second meeting between Iran and European officials since November, and it's being held in private. This meeting comes just a week before US President-elect Donald Trump takes office. In 2015, Iran reached a deal with Western powers to limit its nuclear program as concerns emerged that Iran could soon have the capacity to produce a nuclear weapon. Claims that Tehran has always denied. In 2018, Donald Trump's administration exited the 2015 nuclear pact and reimposed harsh sanctions on Iran. That prompted Tehran to rebuild stockpiles of enriched uranium. Last month, in December, the chief of the United Nations nuclear watchdog expressed concern that Iran is dramatically accelerating its enrichment of uranium. Stefanie Dekker is joining us from Geneva, where those talks are being held. So the nuclear program on the agenda, but we understand the group is also going to be discussing other issues as well, Stefanie.
Yes, they're talking about the nuclear issue. It's important to note these are not negotiations. These are discussions. That is what the diplomats have made very clear. These are talks about talks, trying to figure out where everyone stands. As you mentioned, crucial timing, just a week ahead of a new U.S. administration. And Donald Trump, obviously that graphic very well explaining there, having pulled out of that nuclear deal in 2018, leading to what now many analysts call Iran having become a nuclear threshold state. Aside from the nuclear issue, yes, other issues on the agenda here. Things like Europe is very concerned about Iranian supply of weapons to Russia. That is being discussed. Bilateral ties are being discussed. Human rights issues are being discussed. So a large framework, if you will, on the table. But the key one really is the nuclear issue that many people, many analysts will tell you is going to be a major issue that needs to be resolved one way or the other, or else we could potentially see a major escalation still in the year or years ahead.
Stefanie, you refer to these as talks about talks, but nevertheless, as you were referring to, they are crucial. Just give us an idea of just how important this meeting is.
Yes, the fact that they're talking is significant. The nuclear issue, many analysts will tell you, has become huge. Why? Because also the timing of this is very different. Iran, a very different standing now in 2025, having really lost a lot of its power in the region over the last year, couple of months. When you look at Syria, when you look at Hezbollah, when you look at Hamas, the deterioration of its proxy power, if you will. That'll tell you many in Iran will say perhaps they now need to accelerate the nuclear program, trying to get nuclear weapons because it needs it as some form of a deterrence. Now, what is Donald Trump going to do? That is the big question mark. Some say that he is very much on board, whether that's with an American strike or supporting an Israeli strike or potentially a US-Israel communal strike. At the same time, there are others that say that he is going to try in the beginning to try and get some kind of deal. And when we talk about a deal, it's not going to be in the same form of 2015. These are very different times. So everything is going to have to be renegotiated, if you will. So again, these discussions are important. They're behind closed doors. We're not expecting anything to be made public, but the fact that talks continue to try and figure out some kind of a foundation to move forward once this new U.S. administration comes in certainly is important.
Stefanie Dekker in Geneva. Stefanie, thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.